Okay, so there was three main issues that I was having when I was using the sander, which were lack of suction, lots of dust still flying around, and after a while it was as if I was using a regular sanding pole, not a vacuum one, because so much was just dropping down to the floor. So I'm going to show you a couple things that I did after researching, after reading the pamphlet again that it comes with, and just trying a couple different things that really helped with those three issues. So let me push this down. Okay, so the first one, probably no brainer, but just make sure that your holes line up with the holes on the head of the sanding pole as well as the sanding pad. I mean, obviously that's a no brainer, but you just want to make sure that they're lined up so it gets good suction going in. Number two is using the speed dial. Okay, I found it at a medium, helps it to control it easier, and by using it at the medium setting, it allows it to just handle better where I can keep it on the wall better. Which takes me to number three, keeping it on the wall. So if you saw in another video that I did with a regular sanding pole, you're gonna hold the bottom, just kind of holds it, and the top is where you're kind of applying pressure. So you wanna keep it on the wall. And as you keep it on the wall, not lifting up, it's gonna help to suck in all that extra dust. And then the third one is on the bottom of the hose. Now this is the part that connects, whether it's the bottom of the pole itself. Shoot, sorry guys. So there's this hole, and I don't know if you can see it or not, that you can cover it partially. Oh, there it goes. Okay, there's a hole right there. Now, if you cover it a lot, it gets the most suction, but it's going to be the most difficult to work with. If you open it up all the way where the hole's exposed all the way, it gives you the most that you can play with it, but it gives the least amount of suction. So what I found works for me is doing a little bit, about halfway or a little bit more than halfway, and I actually saw that the sand was coming down, was sucking back up into the orbit part of it. So those are the three things by using just the pole itself, is the variable speed, making sure that the sandpaper is lined up, checking that orifice on the hose connection part, and making sure that it's on the wall, you know, full contact to the wall. The last thing is, I thought it wasn't even picking up any sand, but after I checked my filter, I'm using a 16-gallon wet dry CRAFTSMAN vacuum. Man, the filter was packed. It was caked with sand dust. So I knew that it was picking up. And, you know, but maybe halfway into the night using it, or a little bit using it, it's just all this dust kept falling down, and I couldn't figure out why. And then bonehead me, I realized I didn't have a bag in there. So once I put a bag in there, you know, that alleviated. I still have some dust on this. You know, there's some dust on here, but before you couldn't even see these little reveals in the filter because it was just so much dust caked on there. But with the bag, I mean, the bag, it went like a champ. And it like I said, doing those couple things with the sanding pole and having the vacuum bag in there, it allowed not to get clogged up. The filter never stopped, it didn't get clogged up. And I could keep sanding, and I actually, when I was coming down in a down swoop, I actually saw the dust being sucked back up into the orbit. So check the hose connection as far as your orifice opening. Check your speed variable. Make sure your holes are lined up. Make sure you're having full contact. And I highly recommend, if you don't use, you know, I even seen another video where a guy used a dust collector before it went into the vacuum. I don't have a dust collector, but once I put that bag into that vacuum, then it just solved it. So a dust collector or a bag, something to catch it, to keep it from going straight into the filter. Hopefully that helps. Tell me what you guys find out, and we'll go from there. All right, see you on the next one. Okay, one last thing that I did want to mention when dealing with the sander is, for some reason, even though the vacuum gives you really good suction, a lot of the dust still stays within the sander itself. So a lot of it will stay in the head, and when you hit it out, it kind of comes out towards the bottom. But a lot of it also stays inside of the tube, whether it's this tube, whether it's the extension tube, or if it's the hose. For some reason, it just all stays in there. So, you know, before packing it back in your bag, because my bag's all dusted out right now, is I would just tap it down on the ground. I would tap this, you know, tap it and then tap it again, or even folding it, because you have two pieces, two pipes right here where the dust can get collected and it just stays in there. And the same thing with the hose. I would just kind of stretch it out, hit it down, and then when you get to the bottom part, just tap it out. If you didn't see it in another video, I think my vacuum hose is like a 3-inch, and even though this comes with an adapter, it still didn't fit mine. So this is from another vacuum sander that I have. So I just jimmied it and I put tape on it so that way it would fit. So I'm not sure if you guys are gonna have the same issue. Maybe your guys' hoses are smaller. Maybe this is a 2-inch hose. I'm not really sure. But like I said, I had to put an adapter on mine just because it wasn't gonna fit. But other than that, that's the only other problem that I've seen with it, is that it does, the sanding dust does stay within the tube and the hose. So you, again, just hit it out before you guys put it back into your bag. And hopefully that alleviates having to carry around so much extra dust or whatever. All right, let me know what you guys have done to help it out.